My wife posted a picture with her work husband. Captioned, my real partner. I commented on the photo, congratulations. The divorce papers are on the kitchen table. Her boss's reaction. Chapter 1. The post. It was a quiet evening when my phone buzzed. A notification from Facebook. There it was. My wife had just posted a picture of herself, arm in arm with her work husband. The caption read, my real partner. My blood ran cold. The likes and comments were already rolling in. Her friends laughing, dropping heart emojis, and even her mother writing, finally, you found someone worthy. I didn't shout. I didn't call her. I didn't even text. Instead, I clicked, comment, and typed 11 words that would detonate her entire world. Congratulations. Congratulations. The divorce papers are on the kitchen table. The house went silent that night. I didn't sleep. But by morning, when she walked into work, her boss had already seen it, and his reaction would change everything. Chapter 2. The boss's reaction. By the time my wife strutted into the office, her post was already the gossip of the building. She thought she looked bold, empowered, walking in like a queen. But her boss was waiting. And he wasn't smiling. He called her into his office, shut the door, and slid his phone across the desk. On the screen was her post. Care to explain this? He asked flatly. She laughed nervously. Oh, that's just a joke. You know, office humor. His face didn't change. Not funny. Not funny. Not when shareholders are watching my employees represent this company online. You tagged the company page for God's sake. Do you realize what this looks like? Her confidence cracked. It's not what it seems. But then came the blow. I also spoke to your husband. He tapped the screen again, showing my comment. Congratulations. The divorce papers are on the kitchen table. Tell me why I should keep an employee who drags her personal circus into my company's reputation. She froze. Because she had no answer. Outside the office, coworkers were whispering. Screenshots were already circulating. And for the first time, she realized the storm she thought she could control had already escaped her hands. And me? I wasn't done yet. By noon, the whispers at her office weren't whispers anymore. They were full-blown chuckles. Screens lit up with screenshots of her post, my comment, and the boss's stone-faced expression as she tried to spin excuses. She stormed into the ladies' room, locked herself in a stall, and furiously typed on her phone. 15 missed calls. 38 unread messages. All from me? No. From friends, colleagues, even family. Because I had already pulled the next string. I'd quietly shared her post and my reply to a private group, her family group chat. Cousins, aunts, uncles. The same ones she used to boast to about her perfect marriage and successful work life. Within minutes, it spread. Her brother texted. What the hell are you doing? Are you insane? Her aunt. So you destroy your marriage and your job with one post. The walls were closing in. By the time she emerged from the bathroom, her work husband wouldn't even look her in the eye. He'd gotten a call, too, from his wife. She had seen the post and she was on her way to the office. My wife's smug little empire, built on lies, arrogance, and public image, was now collapsing in broad daylight. And me? I hadn't lifted a finger beyond typing 12 words. Congratulations. The divorce papers are on the kitchen table. Chapter 4. When worlds collide. By the time her work husband's wife stormed into the office, the tension had reached a breaking point. The entire floor froze, employees whispering and peeking over cubicles like it was a live drama unfolding. The wife, eyes blazing, marched up to my wife's desk and slapped a stack of printed screenshots onto the table. Care to explain this? She spat, her voice shaking with fury. My wife stammered, her arrogance stripped away. It's just a joke. A caption taken the wrong way. The other woman scoffed. A joke. Then why did you call my husband my real partner in front of the world? Why do you text him at 2 a.m.? Every head turned. Silence thickened like smoke. Even the boss, the same man my wife once bragged about having wrapped around her finger, looked disgusted. You've embarrassed this company, he said coldly. Take your things and go. Effective immediately, the HR rep didn't even give her a chance to argue. They handed her a box. Within minutes, she was walking the same hallway she used to strut through proudly, this time with coworkers smirking, phones raised, capturing her walk of shame. But the real collapse hadn't even started yet. When she reached home, the divorce papers were still there on the kitchen table, waiting like a final nail in the coffin. And taped to the envelope was one more thing. A printout of her own caption. My real partner. Chapter 5. The spiral that night, my phone buzzed nonstop. First came the angry calls, then the tearful ones, finally the desperate texts. It was just office banter. You can't actually mean divorce. Please think of the children. But I didn't answer. Instead, I poured myself a drink, leaned back in my chair, and watched as her life imploded from a safe distance. By the next morning, her family knew. My mother-in-law, always so quick to defend her golden child, was now screaming into the phone, "How could you humiliate us like this?" Her friends unfollowed her faster than she could type explanations. The same colleagues who once envied her were sending each other memes with her caption, laughing at her downfall. Even her so-called work husband. His real wife filed for separation the very next day, citing infidelity. He moved out and left my wife to clean up the ashes. And then came the final blow. The company filed a lawsuit for reputational damage, citing violation of workplace policy. Her once flawless reputation was gone. She had mocked me, dismissed me, thrown away everything for a cheap thrill. But in the end, she was the one left begging. When she finally showed up at my door, her eyes red and swollen, she whispered, "Please, I have nothing left." I looked her dead in the eye. You wanted a real partner. Congratulations. You're living with the consequences now. Then I closed the door. Epilogue. The final lesson. Weeks later, the divorce was finalized. The settlement. She walked away with nothing but debt, while I kept everything I had worked for. But the most crushing blow didn't come from me. It came from our son. One Saturday, she showed up uninvited to his soccer game, trying to act like nothing had happened. She knelt down in front of him, voice trembling. "Sweetheart, it's me. Mommy." He looked at her, eyes cold, and said words that shattered her more than any lawsuit or scandal ever could. "Mommy. My real parent doesn't post captions. He shows up." Her face went pale. She reached for him, but he turned away and ran into my arms. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. The silence was louder than anything I could have shouted. From that moment on, she wasn't just the woman who lost her husband, her job, and her reputation. She was the woman who lost her son's respect, and that was the one thing she could never get back. And as I held my boy close, I realized revenge wasn't just about destroying her life. It was about building a better one for us. Was this revenge perfectly justified? Or should the storm have raged harder? Drop your verdict below. I read every single one. Hit like if you crave justice and share this story with someone who needs its fire.